Hello, everybody out there from Diamond Dynasty 300 and whoever's watching this video. Just wanted to share some amazing news. You had heard a conference call or a webinar today with our Chief Visionary Officer, Scott Lewis, where he shared that we just did a strategic merger with a company called Monavie. Now, most of you who are been in the industry for some time, know who Monavie is, know what they've done, know what they represent, know that they're an absolute icon of the industry with sales cresting at a little over $800 million. So to acquire a company of this magnitude, of this importance, is really a strong feather in a cap and something to be applauded for our corporate leaders and our owners to be able to have pulled off. I've been dialing all day and actually all weekend looking into this a little bit more closely so I could have the most accurate information for you guys as possible, and found out some amazing things. Some I can share, some I probably can't. We'll share as much as I can and lend some things that are just strictly my opinion as well. But it's a glorious day. Good things are happening. This is very positive. This isn't the upline spin just trying to make lemonade out of lemons. This is a really good thing, guys. And I'll run through some of the points here real quick as I can to help you understand the vision that I have of this, that Kenny, Joey, and some of the other top tier leaders within the company also have. But this is super cool. So number one, I want to share is, we bought them, not the other way around. So make sure you understand that. We've acquired them. The other thing that should tell you is if a company is being acquired, obviously they're in some kind of distress. There was, as far as I know, either 11 or 13 other companies that have been bidding on them for the last 6 or 7 months or so. And why that's important is to show, and we weren't the highest bid by any stretch of the imagination, but we were the company with the most upside potential. We're growing, we're relevant. We strategically are going in directions where Monavie wish they were going right now, probably wish they were going a long time ago. So we won based on our merit and the things that Jeunesse is doing, which further brings home the point why you guys all joined this company is something that Monavie is just now realizing as well. We are the deal. Scribble down some notes here that are obviously important. While they've done $800 million in sale in their best year, I believe right now they're somewhere between 100 and 120 million. The reason for that demise or that decline is simple. It's something that Diamond Dynasty 300 in particular has spoke about on numerous calls. And that is that they are a one product message for the most part. Monavie has the acai juice that comes in a looks like a wine bottle maybe. So they were selling a nutritious drink that really helped you feel better and do some, supposedly great things for you, which is fine. So that's something that people need. One thing you always hear me talk about that I like about Jeunesse is we do have some stuff that people need, but more importantly, we have stuff that people want. When people want something, they spend whatever they have to do or have to spend to get it. That's an important distinction, and you need to weave that into the fabric of your presentations. We have products that people want. Very important. So still $120 million isn't like nothing. That's still a pretty decent chunk of change. By the way, it's only 20% of what Jeunesse is doing. But again, we're going like this. Monavie's going like this right now, or even plateaued maybe at that level. What's important to realize about that is back to their one product messages, they couldn't get it going any further. Hence why the message kind of died out. There was some tricks. I don't know if tricks is the right word. There was a few things I didn't like about the Monavie compensation plan. People made a lot of money in Monavie, but I do figure that even though we're binary and they're binary, there's a lot of little things that we can get into on a completely different call that were a little bit of the demise of the leadership within Monavie. So very important to understand as well. So here we are with a more diverse product range. You often hear me applaud the fact that we have, anywhere from 10 to 14 different products, depending on whether you count the Luminous products each individually, which you should, versus just a whole line of products and group them together. And I think that's a really good mix. So us having that's important. Now, right off the bat, let me address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. A lot of people are scared, concerned, however you want to put it, about the fact that Monavie has 4 million distributors. I know this partly because I'm in the industry, but you guys should be able to pick up on this too as business people. If they truly had 4 million people all on auto ship, all working, all building, they would not be for sale, and their sales would not be at 120 million. They'd be back at where they were at the $800 million mark. Perhaps what Scott should have said more specifically was that throughout the years, throughout about the decade or so that Monavie's been around, I'm not quite sure of their inception year, but they've had 4 million people go through the doors. More importantly, to the bulk of the people that are on our team, there's roughly, in my estimation, which is, I'm sure it's pretty close to this number, probably somewhere around 10,000 people in North America, active distributors. So drop in the bucket. I mean, our team alone should be there within the next 60 days. So not a big number. I already told you, you've been on my calls, that there's easily room for 200,000 or 300,000 people in North America easily. And look, even though they've had that many, they're still doing numbers to some degree. So it's important that you really compare apples to apples in your understanding of that. The bulk of their people, or the bulk of their 100 million and change sales, is guess where? In Japan and maybe Thailand and a few other countries where they may be still operating, as they went over there to try to bolster their offering as things tapered off here in the West, because the West got tired of that one product message. Monavie, it's all about having this acai juice, and if you don't like that juice, there's not much else to talk about, and therein led to the problems that they're having. Some other good points here is, what did I scribble down? The things that we're acquiring. Now, they have very top, look, this was nearly $1 billion company. At its height, Monavie was twice, what Jeunesse is right now. So they have some top-notch executives that still work for Monavie that now technically work for Jeunesse. So we can lend some or harness some of their brain power, some of their marketing prowess, some of the things that they've learned going into some markets maybe that we aren't in yet, or strengthen our operations, or leverage any offices that they may have in other countries. All very, very good things. Customer service. I've actually been in the Monavie building 3 times, as a long story, but I was nearly a product developer for them exactly a year ago, February of 2014, ironically enough. I'll just leave the rest of that information off the table. But so I am speaking from a position of really understanding the inner workings of especially that company, and more specifically their sister company, which is a spin-off of them, a company by the name of Mynt. And if you just even think about that, why would Monavie have another little company called Mynt? Mynt is exactly a year old this month, I believe. It's because they were already in trouble and were looking for a way to rebrand themselves to stay relevant. And to some degree, it's actually worked. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound. Yes, Mynt is smaller than Monavie, but at least they're ticking up a little bit in terms of their growth, where Monavie is still trying to stop the bleeding. So there's some good stuff going there, but they have a good call center, good customer service, and a lot of people there lost their jobs at Monavie. The building is gorgeous. I wish we could just pick that up and drop it over in Orlando because it's a gorgeous building, but they also have the overhead. Here's the problem. Why is a $120 million company in trouble? It's because they have the overhead of an $800 million company. They have people that, don't even really necessarily work there on the day-to-day operations anymore, that still have 7-figure payrolls. I didn't say distributors or reps. We're talking executives with sweetheart deals for a company that was doing tremendous income at some point, that are getting, that are just basically, it's time to trim the fat at Monavie. Their expenses are way too high for the money that their company's currently bringing in, and they need the muscle and the firepower of a Jeunesse and the relevancy of a Jeunesse to help keep them, in the black, basically. Top execs, the call center, talked about that. Guys, they're a great company. They're an icon in the industry, regardless of where they are, or, if they're the enemy to us, especially even before this, you always got to respect the people that blazed the trail. They did do some amazing things. The bonus pools, I know not everybody's a diamond yet, but the bonus pools just went up significantly. I did some quick math here, and even on the fact if they bring their $120 million of Monavie sales to Jeunesse, The diamond pool is 3%. 3% of 120 million is $3.6 million extra that all the diamonds get to split. And if you're not there yet, you'll be there someday. So much more revenue coming in. One of my other favorite parts is, as you guys heard me say, and you haven't heard it from a lot of people just yet, even the owners have been hedging their bets, but I believe that we can do $1 billion this year. If not this year, I'm pretty sure next year, but I want it in 2015. And now with Monavie coming in and adding an extra $120 million to our bottom line, makes all of us $1 billion company. Jeunesse owns Monavie, so if all the sales combined do $1 billion, then Jeunesse did $1 billion. What does that mean for you, the executive on the team, the Pearl, the Jade? You're thinking, yeah, whatever. Well, it's not whatever. It means that Jeunesse is $1 billion company. You got in before it did $1 billion, which means you're a pretty sharp and astute business person who definitely made the right decision. And you always hear me say it on every call, we are the hunted, not the hunter. Well, that's going to go up a whole other level. When we're the first company to hit $1 billion in probably the last 15 years that I know of, could be someone more recently. The last I can really think of was like maybe Newskin, who's still a big pillar of the community. But you become real relevant, and a lot of people start to take you seriously, and no one's going to say, are you in that little eye bag cream thing? You in that skincare deal? No, I'm with the $1 billion entity called Jeunesse that did it in 6 years. By the way, last I checked, I think Microsoft took about 11 years. So, we're twice as fast growing pace as an early Microsoft, and, McDonald's 19 to 20 years. I mean, we are going to be a big, big story, not only in network marketing, but also just in business in general. And you guys are getting positioned, at least you should be paddling like heck, running ahead of that wave, so that when all the news, when all the PR campaigns, when all the media and business media picks up the story of Jeunesse, and people are looking for sponsors in a city where you live, you're relevant enough that they find you, and that your team is wide enough that you start to capture all these people who are looking to join one of the fastest companies in business history to hit $1 billion. 6 years to $1 billion would be tremendous. Again, my assertion. Brazil is a very big market. We have some tremendous leaders on this team that really got their eye on Brazil. Right now, it's looking like it might be a year and a half to get into there. So with one stroke of the pen and a checkbook, we now have Monavie has a license in Brazil. We own Monavie. So as far as I can see, we also have a license to Brazil. Now, there might be a little bit of paperwork and some stuff that needs to be done, I'm sure, before it becomes that black and white. But make no mistake about it, this definitely accelerated our potential and chance of getting into a behemoth of a market, which is Brazil. And there's some other ones too. I think they have some great inroads to India and some other places overseas. So tremendous, tremendous news on that front as well. The other thing is, just look at how you guys look at things. You could have went two ways with this information. You could have been like, the sky is falling, henny penny. Or it could have been like, this is amazing. I'm not going to fault anybody. It seems like quite a few people kind of got scared by this, and I can understand the thought process of, the way Scott articulated talking about the 4 million, which should have been handled a little bit differently. But always look for the positive. Always look, Wendy, Randy, Scott, these guys are very, very sharp. They're very, very smart. They're not going to do something to hurt us. They didn't need to buy Monavie. It just really strengthened our overall brand. There's so much more good things than bad. I would say it's a 9-to-1 victory, 9.5 to 0.5 victory in favor of us there. Yes, it lent some great infrastructure to Monavie as well. Here's the other thing to think about. People in Monavie had the choice, at least anybody that's been joining recently or in the last 5 years, to have joined Jeunesse. They did not. They chose to sell Monavie's juice and Monavie's energy drink instead of our products for a reason, whatever that reason is. And you guys, most of you have heard of Monavie and have not joined Monavie because you don't necessarily want to maybe sell their products or like whatever it is about them. So the two companies are going to be under the same umbrella of Jeunesse, but they're going to be a complete separate line. I know a few people were licking their lips and their chops this morning, wondering, where they're going to drop all these people. Jeunesse is right here. There's all these people under Jeunesse. They're going to add Monavie right here direct to the company. It wouldn't be fair if they put them under any one specific person in general, or whatever. So it's direct to the company. That way that doesn't create any other problem, but the sales all count. And I think that's pretty much it. Just wanted to make sure and hit you with that. We'll be available for questions and answers and so on and so forth. So the bottom line, the most important part, especially for people, which is the bulk of our team in North America, they're a fraction of a percent over here. There's many reasons for why that is, but at the end of the day, that number went from 4 million in your mind to really about 10,000 in North America, of which most are probably a lot of auto ship, basically reps that are just drawing their check. Maybe their teams are overseas or elsewhere. So not too much to worry about. That's pretty much it. So that's pretty much all. Oh, I put this shirt on for a reason. I got my Herbalife shirt. Oh no, Kev's quitting and going to Herbalife. Just keeping it lighthearted and stuff. But hey, it's all about Vegas. I'm sure we'll get a lot more details. Vegas couldn't come up at a better time, so we'll get more and more of that. I'm sure as Diamonds will be afforded a little bit more information, and we'll always tell you guys what they say. But that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching this video. Yep, that's it. All right, talk to you guys soon. Thanks, bye.